Are you able to?
Yeah.
5 minutes?
No, I don't think so.
No, I think we should get the revised rates figure as we work through the amendments.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, shall we have a debate and have a foreshadow motion?
Yeah,
But remember, we're going to come back if we go over. We're going to come back.
but we should be informed as we go along, shouldn't we? I mean, we've said yes to every amendment so far, and we've voted on.
Okay, we'll just
One of them
Hands
is
up.
that money.
we'll give them a couple of minutes, shall we? Because then we're informed as we go along.
Well, I don't know.
But that
Because that
disadvantages
means
the
that
applications that
people
come in
get more
later.
cautious as they go along.
No, we can either be. We,
Right,
if the
we'll carry on.
information exists, we should be informed.
We will now
Carry on.
move into the next group and carry on, and then we will get information as we go along. So the next one is Bromley Road renewals. We're into transport now. It's number 89. Here it is. Have you got a seconder, Councillor Johansson?
It's just a noting one as well, so. Yeah.
Have you seconded? Hang on there, I'm getting a bit lost here.
What, sorry?
This one of Yanni's, is it just noting only?
Yeah.
Yep, so is that
So
what
I've withdrawn the substantive that sought funding, and it's just a note around the process in terms of going forward. So
They're almost all the same in this block
So
of
this is,
amendments.
can you, is this right, can you see this one on the screen or on the screen behind you, Councillor Johansson? Is that your note, is that your motion? Yep, great, fantastic.
Do we have a seconder?
Do we have a seconder for Councillor Johansson's motion? Great, Harrison Hunt.
I've just got to put a clarification there. That advice on the far right will probably
Can you
be
keep it highlighted?
seeing as it's a noting amendment.
Yeah, there's no
So,
financial.
so that is from the original.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. It's just, yeah. Great.
Okay, Councillor Henstock, you had a question.
Yeah, I do, on 89, and the head of service advice that was put in the big tin can, they referenced this amendment and said that there'd be a knock-on effect to a number of other streets that were in the program for street renewals. So I'm just keen to understand, please, whether if this progresses, that all of those other projects referenced in that note from head of service are going to be deferred to get this one across the line. Can I have some clarity on that, please?
that advice was for the original amendment of 10 million, but yeah.
Councillor's correct. That advice was for the original amendment, not for this this effective noting amendment.
Next five are pretty much the
Great,
same.
thank you.
Let's just deal with it
So
succinctly.
it's just a noting one.
Yep.
Is it-
So are people
no,
happy to just vote on that one now? Okay. To
Okay.
save the,
Because
or
it's,
do you-
it's just,
Do like one debate on transport.
yeah, but we want to get
Let's-
some of them, it's just a note of one.
if it's just
Well,
noting, everyone's happy this just being a noting one?
Yep, great.
Everyone, thank you very much. Okay. Number 90. There's 8 of them in a row, is there?
Yeah. Yeah, okay, do them all together.
No, we don't. I thought they were going to be moved. but they weren't.
Yeah, these ones,
Okay, right down to number 91.
yeah. 91,
They're all noting, so.
yep.
Okay, everyone,
Shall we debate?
they're just noting ones. We don't need to debate really, but I can ask. We're looking at going all the way down to number 121. Okay?
So it doesn't include 121. We're not going to let golf sneak through Brindle Road in the note applications.
There's no additional budget question.
I don't think. None that are new. That's not I think that's
Why
an
is
actual
27?
funded one. I reckon we should stop.
Okay, righto. We will stop at the end of number 112 and not throw in number 1, 2, 1. Okay? So they are all no rates impact within existing budget program. Is everyone happy with Councillor Johansson?
Like, it's just, no, but like, in terms of the process, like, it's a bit unfair that Brynwell Road gets considered out of the 205 street renewal program, but Wine and Hubert, which has the same amendment, gets deferred. So
That's why we're not considering the Brindle Road one now. It's not
Yeah,
in that
I've
package.
stopped.
We're
The-
coming back.
the point is, though, like, if you're considering the Wine and Herbert Street one ahead of Brynwell, it's coming out of the same budget, so it's going to have an impact on it.
So then you should vote against it.
You can vote against Brimble Road when you want to, if you want to, when it comes. But we're not at Brimble Road yet. We're stopping just before it.
Yeah, but if we're able to move an amendment to the street renewal program, then I would want to move that one rather than have it be noted, because it doesn't seem very fair to me for the people that made submissions that their one gets deferred but and not considered. But
For in the 27 financial year anyway, so as long as it gets done.
Okay, so we'll take that, put an annual plan. You happy with that? Yeah. Okay, they're right. You got that?
He could just take it out. Yeah.
Councillor Henstock, Councillor McClellan first. Jake,
Just remove it.
Jake, did you have a
In
question?
the program, just take it out.
Right.
My question then is, of all of those ones that we are now lumping together, we've got the Brindle Road as being marked as potentially material. Can
We're
someone
not lumping
explain
that in.
that?
We're not lumping that in. We're stopping after 112 and coming back and debate. The next ones are another batch.
One, two, one.
Just agreed to treat it on the same basis.
Well,
It's not material.
Depends.
Right, I'm putting everything which have no rates impact and are within the existing program budget right up to the end of 112, which are all the same. Is everyone happy with those?
Yes. Okay. So, everyone happy?
Yep.
Yep, pass.
Yep.
Everything up
go.
to 112. Yeah, we can debate that when you get
We're
to
going to
it.
debate it because Councillor Johansson was a wee bit.
So we've got that,
Not happy.
they're all so
But
we're
there's-
really clear.
It is the same no additional budget.
Everyone's clear, we've moved 90, 106, 106.4, 112, and that's all been voted on and passed.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
No argument, great.
Done. Finished. Okay, so we do this one now, Mary.
Bill was the second.
This one now.
Yep.
Right. We will now do 121, which Councillor Goff, I think, was happy to throw it to the annual plan process, I think, but you just tell me if I'm putting words in your mouth.
Which is, you're seconding that.
The thing, I don't even think that a particular road should be going to an annual plan process. What we should be doing is, as a council, and I've said this before, we need to see the programs, and I know you don't want to share them, but we need to see the programs for everything that has a program. So there's a council, we can talk about them, rank them, and then stop having this one line pack it out business, because I'm getting sick to death of it.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't discussed looking at whole programs. We're just saying we're going to move Brynra Road or whatever. But we're not looking at the whole thing. We're listening to probably a few residents or the road we drove down or
So
whatever.
we take that out because it's an annual plan now, do we?
Yeah.
So we're taking this one out because it's annual plan. Well, we're happy with it as it is. It's not going to make any material difference. So makes it. Yeah. So is everyone happy to leave that in because it's going through the process? There's no additional budget requested. It's getting ready for renewal in 2027 anyway. It may be able to be brought forward, but we'll just see. But at the moment, if we vote on to accept this, it has no rates impact.
Sorry, can I just be clear? We don't have the program list for 2027. We don't know what's in that program list. We haven't made
Comment?
a decision. So I just can't understand why the one above has a noting provision that its project is currently within the LTP as part of the citywide street renewal program. Why are we not just doing that same wording for this one if it's currently in a program somewhere?
We are. Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the intention. But that's not what has been moved and seconded. But if you want to do a foreshadowed one, or the mover is prepared to do that, we can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Put your hands up for whatever you want to vote for. Right, so I'll put that as, are you happy for that to go in the way it is? Yes. Yep. Okay, thanks, Sam. Good. Sam meant that. Right, we'll now move on to number 91. Okay, this is Councillor Harrison Hunt and Councillor Templeton, Clyde, Rickerton, Wharenui Safety Improvements. No, you're on page 7 out of...
It's another noting that staff put in.
7 out of 33. Okay, have you ticked it off already? We know how Councillor Cotter's voting. Right. So we've got a mover and a seconder, and we'll go to that one going forward. Okay, after we're done debate.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Number 99, Councillor Donovan and Councillor Johansson.
We're going to. See if
It
we
was
need
only
to
those.
debate these as a block.
It was only those notey ones.
Yeah.
So this one has been emailed separately, so this is the new wording.
Do you need a mover or?
Clarified, please, is that rates impact on the original amendment, or is that on the noting?
It's on the original.
On the original.
So there's no rates impact for staff to
We don't
investigate?
know. It's only just been emailed through. Wouldn't be any rate. You could do that within. Yep. No rate. Yep.
No, right, okay. Councillor Fields, you want to move it because Celeste isn't, can't, well, you, Yanni's already seconding it. Hang on a second. Right, where are we? Councillor Cotter has a question.
Do you mind? It's okay?
We're still trying to get a move
The
in.
question of
You can have
staff,
two.
is this like a brand new project?
Sorry.
It's
Yes.
Marine Parade, Jellicoe
Well,
Street.
It's road shoulder down by.
It's maintenance work, so we're looking at what needs to be done and what the issues are and what the options are for fixing, and that will report back.
Yeah. So
But it's maintenance work, and the original advice on this was that it's actually OPEX work. So we just need to do more work on it before we can provide you with clear advice.
And are you bringing back a full report, or is it a major piece of work?
We will bring back we'll bring back advice.
Right.
But we need to sit down with the board, understand all the issues, understand the issues that have come through from the community, and then provide some advice on what the options are.
Thank you.
It's
That's a lovely answer.
correct me if I'm wrong, Lynette, it's only a road shoulder and it's something you do in maintenance every day of the week, more or less, like you've just done down Ryan's Road.
Yes, and yes.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Henstock.
Yeah, my question is just about resourcing. We seem to be asking the transport team to keep investigating and reporting on a whole heap of other new things. My query is around availability of staff and resourcing to meet the demands that we're currently putting on and the time frame that we've got ahead of the annual plan. Staff comment on that, please.
I agree with you more, because in my view, it's just work that will just happen as a matter of course anyway.
No, it won't just happen as a matter of course. But that is to Councillor Henstock's question, is why not all of the requests are coming back for the next annual plan. Some of them are coming back for the annual plan after. So we have tried to spread the workload out for staff, consider which staff are going, well, I have tried to spread the work out, consider which staff are likely to be involved, and therefore spread their workload out so that we can address some of this, so it's not all necessarily coming back to this next annual plan.
Okay, Councillor Barber.
Yeah, so this is something that I've wanted for a long time. So is this not a community board issue priority, you know?
I think because this was asking for a reasonably substantial amount of OPEX money, it's what comes through our annual plan or a long-term plan process.
But this hasn't been done for a long time, for as long as I can remember, and you know, is it something that we can delay for a few years till we're in a better financial position?
I can't answer that because we haven't looked at really what the problem is.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
That might be one of the options.
Okey-doke, thank you. Councillor Harrison Hunt.
Kia ora, Lynette. Just a question on your experience with things like this. I think I remember my first year of my term, you brought us a list of capital projects. Is this sort of the same thing that's happening in this case?
This one, to be honest, with Marine Parade, I'm still trying to get to the bottom of it with Councillor Donovan, so we're working together to get to the bottom of the details. But there are a whole lot of projects, and it is a little bit to Councillor Coker's statement before about the programs of work. Yes, the teams are all coming out to the boards over the next few months, and I expect them to all be round the boards by Christmas time with the programs of work. Unfortunately, not all of the work programs have lined up to inform this long-term plan. Tell you what, the next one's going to be a lot smoother from my point of view anyway.
Thanks.
Councillor Peters.
Thank you. Seeing this, to me, is this similar sort of thing to Wilmers Road, where it's the shoulder that's needing treatment? And
I'm sorry, I can't answer the question because I haven't been able to had time to go into the detail of it.
okay,
So that's what we've got to do over the next wee while. Yeah.
because I'm keen to, if this sort of thing progresses and gets some advice, there's others around the city that could do the same treatment. So need to be
Why
raised.
should one get in front of them?
So, Wilmers Road.
Right, we've had a move and a second. We had enough questions. I'll move on to the next one.
Which is your one. Are you happy to move this one here, or do you want that one there?
Oh, sorry.
That one.
The first one.
That one there,
Proposed.
as opposed to that one. Okay. No, that's not the one that the mayor wants to move. The mayor wants to move the reinstatement.
Oh, sorry. I'm actually confused. I'm sorry.
Because there's just, as again, there's the ones that were the original ones and the ones that were reworded post the workshop for people. So it's which one? Okay.
Okay. That one.
That one. So that's one you're moving, and you'll
yep.
second it.
Notes. Yep.
Donald second.
Sorry, I was looking at the wrong column. Okay, so we've got a mover and seconder and for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is your next one as well. Is this another?
And so we'll go there for noting.
That one.
Noting.
Noting.
Yep. So 106.3, that the council notes the staff will report back on program work for Langdon Springfield corridors. Okay.
Second.
And seconder is
Springfield.
Councillor Cotter. Righto. So now we're up to number 92. Councillor Donovan and Councillor Johansson, cycle connections for Takaro Avon route.
So are you happy with the noting provision suggested there?
If the original or second the original one.
Councillor Henstock?
Can I just clarify? I'm not sure if I'm missing something. Was this a cycleway that's connecting a cycleway that doesn't exist yet?
Yeah.
It's,
I don't think it's quite as straightforward as that. Like, yeah, yeah.
It's because it's connected to the Pages Road Bridge. And so doing that project holistically rather than piecemeal was raised by a lot of submitters and making sure everything kind of linked up.
What Sarah said.
The amendments for the MCR, it's for the main MCR, to get on and get the work done around design.
so hang on, this is where I'm getting confused. It's not the city to sea pathway. No, it's the little bit down coming up Pages Road with the MCR that isn't built yet. Same one I'm talking about, is that right?
Section 1.
It's to do the stage between the beach and Pages Road Bridge.
Oh.
So that it gets done. It's like prioritising that section that's actually in Brighton to make sure it's done as sort of one sort of holistic thing along with the Pages Road Bridge stuff.
The roading part.
Yeah, yeah, and because of the links to the mall and all of the other bits and pieces in that space. That's my understanding. Is that your understanding? Yeah.
All right, so we've got to, do we need to get another?
Seconder. You've got a mover now with Councillor Johansson. So
Yeah, a seconder is Councillor Coker. Councillor Kewen, got a question?
Yeah, isn't that route from Pages Road Bridge to the beach 30k an hour through there, or is it not?
Down Hardy Street.
So you're supporting the reversal? Oh. 'Cause then you need the cycleway, but no.
Okay, we've got a couple of questions from the front of the house.
Well, I'm not sure the questions. Just to
Or
clarify.
answers, clarification.
The cycle connections route, Avon Takaro route, is not just the bit out to the mall. It is the whole program of work that is designed to connect to the MCR once it is built. So that's why the advice is as it was in the in the head of service advice.
So which is the head of service advice? Is that the one that's been crossed out?
No, I'd say this is a program that is designed to come in and understand the connections that are required once the MCR is in place. So that's how we've been undertaking the connections program. So they usually follow the installation of the MCRs.
It's a duplicate. It's quite a lengthy now.
So this is bringing a lot of money forward.
So are you saying that this is bringing a connection forward before the MCR is delivered?
Yes.
But
Yeah, so it's bringing it forward out of order, which is why it got pushed out, because the MCR hasn't been built and it's been pushed out.
And the MCR runs
It'll come
down
back in future
Pages
years.
Road through to the city.
Yeah.
But sorry, Lynette, is this a bit? I think I'm in the right bit. It's the roads to the east of the Pages Road Bridge that have gone through consultation and hearings panels at the moment. Is that the bit that I'm hearing about?
No.
It's not. Okay.
That's part of the MCR.
Yeah. Sorry.
This is not the MCR. This is not the major cycle route. This is the connections to the major cycle route.
Okay.
So it's these connections to the major cycle routes are designed to connect to key activity centres or things along or just off that route, key activity centres, schools. So there are other connections off the route once it's been built.
So does doing this bit delay the main MCR work then?
Not at all.
No?
Well, yes, but you're asking to do it, this amendment does it before we do the MCR.
Yeah, but will it push the MCR back, timing-wise?
Well, the MCR is still in the program.
Yeah, I know, but it's the funding. Because the thing is that Pages Road is actually a lot busier than traffic around New Brighton. One may argue could be a more important route to do, I don't know.
Which is why staff have ordered them the way they have and proposed them as they have.
Can we just say that Celeste, who's moved this, has said it's got confused and she'd like us to just hold this one while she sorts it out. Okay, so we'll just defer this one.
Bypass
for now.
this. So
Yeah.
Sam won't. And Jake, I'll just
defer this one. Okay, so it's on to
Yep.
Hey. Oh,
All right, so this is just no further budget required. It's included in the work plan. So,
Yep.
seconder will be probably Councillor Moore, I'd imagine. And he doesn't know why he put his hand up, but he has. So, oh, you did. Okay. All right, so we've got mover and seconder on that one. Moving right along. We've got transport. So we've now got item 98.1. It is on page 10 of 33, right at the top. The red one, which says the word material. It's major cycleway routes, Councillor Coker.
So
and
it's actually a connection. It's the transport choices one of the ones that we passed that joins two cycleways together.
Is there any reason why there's nothing in the financial comments department?
So this would have come in late. This one would have come in late.
Mr Mayor, can I clarify, is this connected to cycleways that actually exist, or is this another one of these connected to cycleways that don't? It does. They are there, thank you.
Yes, Simeon Street, yep.
So
Okay, sorry Mary, what was that?
So we've got some queries. Have we got any financial advice on this one? Do we have any financial impact advice, or is this?
Yeah, look, it's sorry.
Carry on, Pete, sorry.
For you, Your Worship, this is new money, and so into the program, and so we think there's a risk of this being material if it was to go through in this form rather than something come back. That's the risk. Yeah.
So it's totally new day. Okay, but it's got a mover and seconder, so we'll just go through it and put it forward.
And the rate impact wouldn't be significant because it's CAPEX, so is it?
Okay, we've got the next one. Question on that one?
It certainly.
Sorry, yeah. Can you just tell me what resources will? Obviously, we've got a program of work, and it says that the resource requirements, tendering construction resources, to be accommodated within existing resources. So what's possibly going to get delayed as a result of agreeing to do this one?
No, nothing will need to get delayed. This is the resource intense parts of doing projects are the scheming, consultation, and reporting up to that stage. This has all been done. This is one of the transport choices reports that was transport choices projects that was dropped when the government funding was pulled, and as such, it is actually. It has been consulted on as a project and it has been approved. So we just need to literally go to tender and construct.
So but given that we chose not to consult on the transport choices in the LTP, how are we able to proceed with something that we haven't consulted in the LTP on? Like, people may not have been aware, given the previous advice we had, that people may have wished to make submissions if they knew.
That's quite right, and that's part of the through you, Your Worship. That's part of the risk that we see. So, possibly a way is to bring it back into a subsequent annual plan for it to be considered, because that's you're correct.
But that was the materiality thing, though. We couldn't. So we had lots of submissions saying, "Please build all these little cycleways," including mentioning this one, and we were told that it was materiality. So if it was something big, we couldn't make the change in the annual LTP. But this is only 1.5, which is, it's very small in the scheme of a whole pile of things that we might have done otherwise.
Right, so we have. I've ticked too many. How many? Which one? Well, 98.2.
98.2.
Righto. So we've got a mover and seconder on that. So that we'll talk about that going forward. So now we've got 102 who are the same two councillors. Minor safety improvement. And we just confirm the council would like to add an additional 300k. So this will increase the rates.
That's what we're up to. Were there any questions on it? Right.
Okay, so we've got two a mover and seconder on that. Right, we'll go to number 107, and at the moment we've got Councillor Templeton has moved it. So you second it? You're seconding $3.5 million extra. Good to go.
Who is that?
And it's materials.
Mary, we need to know the second for this 102.
16 others around the table.
Melanie, did you have another seconder for your 102? 102.
We need another seconder for 102 because it was select.
Oh, it's because Donovan. Sorry, it was Donovan.
Melanie.
Sorry, yeah, I'd read it misread.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so, well, we've got Councillor Scandrett is happy to spend $3.5 million. So.
No, we whizzed through that. There were no questions.
Okay, so we're over the page. I'm not going too quickly.
No.
108.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just being blown away by these ones. That's all.
So we want to probably knock around about 5 no. Okay. Councillor Johansson, have you got a seconder for number 108?
So can I ask you a question on the previous one?
Certainly.
Yeah, can we
Sorry,
just
I see your hand up.
Can we just get some advice around if we agree to this as part of the LTP, is there any report that will come back to consider the options around it in terms of proceeding? Like, is there another decision point for the Te Aratai cycleway coming back to us, given that we've...
Oh, so if we say go now, it's set in concrete and you never see it again?
Yep.
So it gets tendered, there's no community engagement, consultation, there's no ability
Yeah,
for...
that's
Sorry.
right. That's right. That's right.
So submitters didn't know, like people that were previously made submissions to it were told that it had stopped. They wouldn't have been told that it was coming back into the LTP because we didn't consult on it. Is anyone going back to them to say it's now going ahead and their views sought, or do we need to, or is it
The
it's just
motion
tough
as
luck?
it stands.
Not
Not
with
with
the
the
motion as
motion as it stands. It
So
just
is that
gets some
legal?
instruction.
So to add a new project that we didn't consult on in the LTP overrides the ability for people to make submissions on something that they've got an interest in.
I think that's why it's probably been assessed as material.
Well, can we hear from staff, please, on materiality around the issue that Yanni's just raised?
Or the legal point.
By finance, not by me. So can we just pause?
We've made a
and
previous council
We might
decision.
need to park this one and come back with some advice around it.
So the previous council resolution was that we resolve that work will stop on the following transport choices projects, and they will be assessed for inclusion in a future annual plan. So it doesn't say LTP.
Yeah. So we'll come
Could we
back
get a
with-
legal opinion?
We'll come back with some
Sorry,
advice around that.
you're right. So it says assessed for inclusion in a future long-term plan or annual plan,
Yeah.
but it wasn't assessed as part of that.
The decision to stop the transport choices stuff was made after the draft, and therefore we didn't have the opportunity to do that, but we did have a lot of submissions asking for this.
Are you
And it was
conflicted
clear
on
that
this
people
though, with your children being at school there?
They don't bike to school there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
No,
we
they're
will-
bus.
can we come back with some advice around that? So it's been assessed by the finance people as material. We just need to check whether the assessment around that hasn't been consulted on, and we'll come back with some advice. So we'll park that one and won't.
Okay, there are only 2 more, and then we get to the end of the transport one. Okay, so we've got number 108, which is Councillor Johansson, who is going to get a seconder maybe, and it's for the same cycle connection. What is the main difference there, Yanni?
No, we've got two MCRs that go adjacent, but the main difference was just that I'm actually asking for a report so we can look at the options, because we had submitters that actually had said that they support cycleways, but we should look at more cost-effective ways of doing it. So this is an option to do that, although I am concerned about, I mean, I did have a question of staff about why it costs so much to just look at bring a report with options. It does seem very high cost for what should be just some simple advice. So.
But this was maybe, from what I'm led to believe, I think I've heard it right, you want to design it in maybe some other streets where it's not so busy and dangerous? Is that, am I understanding that?
Yeah, you've got two MCRs that go parallel to Te Aratai. So if you put a vertical connection between the two, away from the main road, you may be able to do it cheaper and get better pedestrian benefits as well because of Ferry Road pedestrian crossing.
I'll second Yanni's.
Okay.
So we won't be able to do that one until we've come back with the advice about the other one, because that one will be the foreshadowed one, I assume, to your first one.
Okay.
Lynette, did staff consider Yanni's idea with the original option? Because there was a lot of talk in the hearing about actually Ferry Road as the desire. I mean, Te Aratai's got a desire line to get along there.
My advice in the head of service comments is that the hearings panel asked questions regarding the use of alternative routes, and staff explained the proposed route along Aldwins Road was the most direct, had high volumes of users, and also was the highest risk to those users, which is why that was the proposed design.
So
But
we determined
it was discussed at the hearing. But
And people are also going to the mall and things, not just to the school. So being able to use that road, yeah.
Thank you.
Councillor Harrison Hunt.
I don't know. Is that because regardless on whether the cycleway is built there or not, they're still going to use that route?
Oh look, I'm sorry, I wasn't part of that. I didn't sit through all of the hearing. That's the advice I got back, and I know it was considered by the hearing. It is the design that has been approved and could go ahead. If we redesign, then there'll be more cost for the design and more consultation.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Thanks.
Okay. That makes you wonder, having MCRs on very busy roads when there's lots of other roads behind them. That's the way I'm thinking that Jan speak.
The kids get to pick up a lot more fumes on a busy road.
Shush. Shush. Right, so now we're on number 109.
Silver lining.
Number 109, this is the last one in the transport grouping. It's Councillor Henstock and Councillor Kewen. Wheels to Wings.
So
Sort of speaks for itself.
that's exactly what I was going to say. I think this does speak to itself for itself, and I'm simply asking that it's treated like all the other transport projects where the funding is at risk, and I'm wanting us to put it on hold and to review it and to reprioritise it with all the other transport projects that are going to be reviewed at the time that the GPS is confirmed, because the reality is there's not enough money to go around. I want to take the politics out of it and just have a constructive conversation in the round with all of the transport projects about where our money's going to go and how we're going to spend it and get better bang for our buck.
So just a question for Lynette. It's little or zero NZTA funding for this at the moment.
At the moment, yes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, Councillor Moore.
So the wording below has been removed around stopping design work. Have I got that right?
Sure, I'm not with you, mate.
Well, we've got wording on our sheet here, but that's all been removed.
Well, there was a recommendation from staff that if the design work was completed, and then it can just be put in the drawer to be looked at later on. So I think what we need is some information from staff as to what is the actual costing required to complete the design work. How close are we? What's left to happen, please?
Sorry, I didn't come. I'll come back with further advice this afternoon.
Can I just check, what was the dollar value of the work in year one that's being asked to be deferred?
The request is to defer all of the funding over the 3 years.
So deferring the 3 years, what's the
for the
dollar
3
value
years
of that?
is 17 million.
Okay, so a change of 10 million surely would be material when it comes to our budgets at this time. Because we were told by audit whether it was up or down, making that bigger change at this stage in the process would be material. Is that right?
It's not taking the budget out, it's shifting it out 3 years.
No, but making changes, either because I couldn't bring the water fund budget forward because it was material, and this is shifting funding a different direction, but it's still a shift which would change the modelling.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I think what's assumed when it says not material is that if you reprioritise it, something else takes its place, so that it's not the money that's shifted, it's the project.
But that's not what's there currently. That's that one's just deferring funding, which would be material if you're shifting $10 million of
That's potentially
funding.
the case. If you're deferring funding rather than actually putting something else in its place, then that is potentially an issue that has to be considered. You're quite right. But if you're simply taking that project out and replacing it with something else so that the funding remains...
But that's not what the amendment does. The amendment just takes $10 million,
then that
shifts it.
potentially is
That's
material, and we would need to consider that.
Yeah.
Okay, Councillor McDonald?
Along the similar vein, but I just think it'd be useful to clarify, Bede, if you can. Unless I misinterpreted the auditors this morning, it's in a cumulative sense. So if we're reducing this by 15 million, but actually there's another 10 million or 15 million of capital, which are like the other amendments that have been put up, then unless I misinterpret the auditors, that is clearly trivial, below clearly trivial.
Look, the challenge we have here is that when we start moving capital around in terms of within funding, is we have to go and see what it does elsewhere within the whole program and other years of the budget, and whether they then are misaligned. If we do it inside the P&L, we're okay. It's easy because it's just within 1 year. It's when we start to move it around, we'd want just a little bit of time to consider that if it's not just a straight reprioritisation of A for B or vice versa. I think we just need a bit of time to think and work our way through, because if we take out a significant amount of money, then there is a risk that it may, what does it do elsewhere? Now, you'd think if it took it out, it wouldn't be as problematic as adding it in, but we would want to just...
What I'm trying to understand, though, is if we're talking, like I thought the auditors did this morning, around the cumulative sense of stuff being trivial or not, then if we've got the other amendments, 3.5 million for the cycleway in Linwood, I think it is, or all of that, it must get to a point, or else there's absolutely no point us sitting here. We should have stopped.
I would agree with that, but we just want to check the numbers on it. Yeah, that's really all we're saying, is that to do it in our head on the go, we just want to be able to check the numbers and come back on that.
That's great.
Yeah, so we're not saying yes or no, it's just if we can have an opportunity to do the balance and see where it lands.
Yeah.
Great.
Councillor Henstock?
So can I just check in with Lynette, please, that we can have that advice on how much is left, because it was my understanding that we're almost completed the design, and I think that that's actually important for the decision making on this, so that it does have the option of being put away in a drawer like several of the other projects for the period that it's been deferred. Thank you.
We are almost completed one half of the design. The other half is about halfway through, so it is at a point where it could be wrapped up and put in the drawer, is my understanding, but I will get the advice back.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, Lynette, one, because we're actually, Yanni, I didn't see your hand. Yep.
So I'm just trying to understand when we're doing the investigative works for half of it. But if you look at the draft LTP, quite a lot of the money has been put into 2027 anyway for sections 1 and 2. So I'm just trying to understand what the current budget is, what it's paying for. Like in the upcoming year, what's the budget paying for?
In the upcoming year, that we were anticipating moving into construction.
So why is there such a big lump in 2027 for this? Like, why are we moving so much money in the draft LTP out to 2027 if we're going to start construction next year?
Moving money. I'm sorry, I don't.
So the current budget in 2025 is about 3.7, and we are proposing to cut that to 1.5 for next year and put about 2.5 million in 2027. That's the profile. That's the section 1. Yeah. Yeah, I know, but it's the same.
Okay.
Right, so when the investigative work is done, when are we likely to get a revised costing? Like, how much do we currently think Wheels to Wings will cost? How much do we know it will cost? And how much do we know is the lost subsidy from NZTA?
Through the chair, we reported on all this through the briefing recently with you and gave you updated figures on what we anticipated the potential cost could be. We said when we finished the ground investigation work, we would be able to, and did the analysis, we would be able to report back.
Okay.
That has been done for half of the route, which will give us an indication of what it's likely to be for the rest of the route. So it gives us a good set of data. That ground investigation work is also needed for the water pipe renewal that has to go down there. So it's being done for a whole number of pieces of work. And we've said we would be able to report back in a few months on that.
So wouldn't there be a natural decision point anyway around whether we proceed or not with this when we get that work back?
The amendment asked for a deferral of construction for 3 years. My advice was provided for that amendment as it was worded.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, far away.
The ground investigation work is being funded partly from Wheels to Wings, partly from the water supply work, partly from the other services work that needs to be
I don't
found.
think the staff advice referenced that. The staff advice said that it was being funded separately, and I'm just pulling it up. Just bear with me. Here we go.
Yeah, but we keep coming back to some advice, so we don't know the 91 ones.
I can't see my annotations. I've lost them. The work is budgeted for separately. So, yeah, it's driven by asset life and condition, among other factors, and the work is budgeted for separately. It's recommended that this proceed.
I'm sorry, I don't know enough of the context of that statement to. I'll have to have a look at that
It's the
afterwards
head of
and
service
come back.
advice that was attached to the papers on the big tin can.
Yeah, Councillor, that may have been a comment I put in there regarding the Three Waters component. Yeah, it's budgeted separately to the cycleway money itself.
So the groundworks that Lynette's talking about is not in relation to the Three Waters.
Well, there will be some groundwork that it's all coordinated as one project, but we will be paying for potholing and GPRing and that sort of stuff as well. It's a shared cost.
Thank you.
Right.
So we're suggesting now that there are a number of things that we have to look at and come back with some information. But resolution 91, 99, 103, 106.3 and 97 are largely noting, and that if we could pass those now and get them out of the way, that means we're very clear what we're coming back on. So that's the first three are on those. I'll go through the page one. So it's page 7. So it's the one Harrison, Hunt and Templeton's resolution. There's the 99, which is on that same page, Marine Parade. So sorry, the first one was Clyde Ricken Wharenui Safety Improvement. The next one, Marine Parade one. The next one was Northcote Road Corridor Improvement. Then the one Springfield Road and Langdons Road Corridor. And then there was Hoonahey Road crossing between Sparks and Mathis. So they were largely noting provisions. There weren't any financial implications for them, and so they can potentially be put together.
So, yep, so is everyone happy that
Can
I
you
put?
just clarify, you said largely noting provisions with no applications?
So, yeah, they are noting. They are noting. I shouldn't have, apart from the one that includes that it's that 97 was that council includes it in the minor safety improvements. So apart from that, they were all noting.
Okay, so those numbers, 91, 99, 103, 106.3 and 97, as Mary has just said, are all noting. So is everybody happy to put those all across the line? Everyone put their hand up, Sam's all happy, yep, all good, yep,
Okay,
no problem.
great.
Thank
Okay.
you very much for
So
that.
we might take a break.
And we'll take 10 minutes. And 3:30, thank you.